Welcome everybody to look at a new Arrow video release, and it's a double feature release. Both of these films were directed by Kaizo Maori, who also did 3 of the Taguchi films, the 2nd, 11th and 23rd. He also did the 3rd of the Daijin films, the Wrath of Daimajin, as well as the 3rd of the Shinobi films, which was called Resurrection. So both of these films were also released in 1967. Both are crime films. Both stars Raizo Ichikawa, who was also in the Shinobi trilogy as the lead character. And the first of these films is A Certain Killer. So this is the new artwork that has been done for this release by Tony Stella. So yeah, it also stars Yumiko Nogawa, who was in the 18th Satuchi film, as well as the first of the Bounty Hunter films, Killer's Mission. Also stars Mikio Narita, who was in the 12th Satuchi film, as well as Message from Space and Yakuza Wolf 2, Extend My Condolences. So Ichikawa plays Shizokai, whose low-profile existence as a chef at a local sushi restaurant serves as a front for his true job as a professional assassin whose modus operandi is poisoned needles. He's approached by Maeda, a low-ranking member of a local Yakuza group, to take out a rival gang boss, but the sudden arrival into his life of a spirited young woman, Kiko, has dramatic ramifications on his relationship with his new employer. So, yeah, with an interesting narrative structure that is executed well to make it not confusing in the slightest, coupled with a good cast and an enjoyable amount of style, this crime film is engrossing throughout, regardless of some lack of originality and somewhat underwhelming characterization. So the way that the narrative structure is set, it's flashbacks between the current present of the job that is slowly taking place, and flashbacks to certain scenes and certain events beforehand. And the way that it does this is a certain movement or gesture or item of clothing or object in general will be used or touched or anything like that, and then it will flash back to a moment when that was last used as well. So, say a jacket is put onto a coat rack, and then you'll see that jacket being worn in a previous scene in events that we've not seen before and such. So, yeah, I know it probably sounds more confusing than I'm making it out to be, but it's really, really well done, and it saves doing any other kind of trickery or saves any other kind of confusion as well. The pacing is also on point. The score is good. It is well shot. The production is solid, and the character interactions are engaging. So, yeah, a really rather solid effort. 3.5 out of 5, and yeah, it's a pretty solid effort in general. So here's the what I believe is the original, or more closely original artwork. And then we have also from, like I said, 1967, A Killer's Key, which we have the artwork for here. So this stars Koei Nishimura, who was also in the 16th, 19th, and 21st Satuchi films, as well as The Threat, which was a recent release from our video, I think sometime last year, as well as The Bride from Hades. And it also stars Tomohiro Saito, who was in the Lone Wolf and Cub film Baby Cart in the Land of Demons. So our Lone Wolf assassin returns, this time masquerading as a traditional dance instructor named Nita, who is called in to avert a potential financial scandal that threatens to engulf a powerful Yakuza group with ties to powerful figures in the political establishment. So, this sequel to the previous film is as good as the prior film, albeit for entirely different reasons. As the narrative structure is a lot more basic, it's nowhere near as complex or engaging, and it isn't quite as stylish. But the score is better. It has way more action. You got explosions and gunfights and such, and the characterization is stronger. While all of the positives from the first effort still remain outside of the lack of style and narrative structure being a lot more stripped back. So yeah, a really rather solid effort. 3.5 out of 5 again. To be honest, yes, it's not as similar in the best of ways to the first effort, but I feel like the fact that it's kind of moved away from that complex narrative structure means that other elements like the action and the general characterization can be brought to the fore a little bit stronger. Therefore, is as good as, if like I said, for different reasons to the first film. So yeah, not out outside of the new artwork, we get a new booklet as well. So inside we've got your cast and your crew for both films, as well as The Spirit of 67, A Certain Killer, A Killer's Key, and The Global Hitman Craze by Jasper Sharp. Then we've got Detachment and Charisma, The Seductive Refusal of Raizawa Ichikawa, and then which is by Earl Jackson, and then the Battle presentations and production credits as well. So yeah, inside we do obviously have shots from the films even. Yeah, so both of these films are presented in their original aspect ratio of 2:35:1 with mono audio, and the high definition masters were provided by Kadakawa. Additional picture remastering work was completed by R3 Store Studios in London, and additional audio remastering work was completed by Porstein Gislason. Not heard of them. But yeah, not a massive book or anything like that, but decently sized regardless. And yeah, as well as obviously the reversible artwork, we've also got extras on the discs as well, on the disc itself. Yeah, both films share the same disc because they aren't particularly long. Forgot to say the length. The first film is 82 minutes long, and the second film is 79 minutes long. So they're not lengthy or anything like that, but they do a quite a lot within those short running times. And yeah, we've got original uncompressed Japanese mono audio for both of the films, and optional newly translated English subtitles. And then we've got brand new audio commentary for both films by critic and Asian cinema expert Tony Raines. Then we've got the definite murder, a brand new 30-minute introduction to the films by Japanese film scholar Mark Roberts. Then we've also got original theatrical trailers for both films and an image gallery, as well as I said the new artwork by Tony Stella. So yeah, I like the new artwork. The films themselves look really rather good in terms of audio and picture quality, and yeah, overall really rather decent films. They're not the best of the kind of like assassin or hitman kind of films. You know, you look at the Shinobi films or Bounty Hunter trilogy. Both of those trilogies were also released by Radiant Films, and then we also had from our video we also had the oh, what were they again? I can't quite see them off the top of my hat. Yeah, then we obviously had other crime films that were series that we had. We had the game trilogy by our video, and then we also had the Street Fighter trilogy. So yeah, they're also fairly decent crime films. I'd say they are all about pretty much on par with one another. But as far as Hitman assassin films from the 60s, 70s, Japanese, I'd say the Radiance films ones are a little bit stronger, but still pretty good films. And yeah, a nice duo and a solid start to our video slate for this year as well. So yeah, highly recommend them if you're into these kind of Japanese Hitman crime films, as I'm sure you'll get plenty out of them. And for films that are only around 80 minutes a piece, they do a fair bit within that relatively short running time, especially the first film with its rather interesting narrative structure. So yeah, highly recommended. But if you have seen either of these films before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on them. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.